itself.
Congratulations on the film. Nice to see you. Wish it was in person, my friend.
Oh, thank you, Jason. Thank you so much. Yes, right. We will very soon.
Here you've made a film that's sort of about the end of the world. I've been asking a lot of people this. How has the film, in a weird way, emotionally changed after what we've gone through in the last year?
We're the first ones to be so amazed by the timing of this film. You know, it couldn't have been so much timely. I think it comes right on time. Speaking of time, I think it's a perfect opportunity for us to, it's a great reminder of not only the wonderful things we're able to create, but how much damage can we cause? I think we're right on time to fix many different things and to understand that we're in this ship together. So this analogy is just beautiful. I think it's great because these 5 human beings in this spaceship couldn't be more different. But at the same time, we are the same entity. We're the same human, and we depend on each other. And that's
so we're all on the same ship, but we're also finding these virtual experiences both energizing but unsatisfying. I mean, I found that very interesting. You guys have the best Zoom setup ever on this film.
No, totally, absolutely, and that's what makes the film so beautiful, because we're dealing with these 2 realities. You know, this man fighting to connect with us on Earth, and us not knowing what's happening back home. And aren't we dealing with that nowadays as we speak? You know, we're trying to communicate and tell each other, stay home, don't move, don't jump into a plane, don't go out there, don't party around, don't make a mess. It's already a mess. Hospitals are packed. You know, the doctors are getting demoralized. Let's help them. This is not about you and how comfortable or uncomfortable you feel with or without a mask. This is about everybody else. This is something that needs to be understood.
I think it's really hard to take somebody like George Clooney and understand him without sort of the aura around him, the nimbus, the glow around him, because we put him in certain categories and we think of him in a certain way. You've obviously worked quite intimately with him as your director and your own sort of focus on the story. What is something we might not know about him, and what is something surprising about his technique of working with actors and building a film like this collaboratively?
I think, I think it didn't really surprise me because I kind of sort of knew the type of director he was only by knowing about him, only by knowing who he is, and even, the wonderful lady she married to, that counts. Everything counts. And the wonderful, businessman that he is. I didn't know he would know more about tequila than a Mexican, but he does. So many different things makes him great. I think I was surprised when I saw his first film, because I honestly never thought, such an iconic leading man would be able to have many more talents. And he is multi-talented. He's a great writer too. He's a great producer, and he is obviously a great director. This is one of his finest films. And so it wasn't a surprise. It was more a confirmation of what a big heavyweight artist can do. And I encountered that with Ridley Scott and Quentin Tarantino and Chris Weitz and Steven Soderbergh. They all have that in common. And more recently with Robin Wright, another actor-director. So they all have that in common. They make things easy. They're extremely generous. They want to make sure that you have all the tools you need to perform your very best.
I want to actually get into it a bit. I mean, you name check some of the remarkable directors you've had a chance to work with, but you have the Ridley Scotts who's sort of, on the forefront and always pushing forward. You have somebody like Quentin Tarantino who's so overtly analog, it almost becomes a stricture. And then you have somebody like Mr. Clooney, who's obviously drawing from his experiences in Gravity, another connection to Mexican filmmaking. He's drawing from other classic films, but very much making his own within the sort of digital landscape. We could just talk about, as a performer, when you're sort of parachuted in, how much the proclivities of the director shape who you are as a performer.
Got an excellent point there, because it makes all the difference. It makes all the difference. That is the difference between going deep into a project or subject matter and a particular scene, or your own psyche, and the way your character transits over the film, through the film. And I insist, one thing they have in common, all these names, is that they know exactly how to get the best from you. And a director becomes some kind of psychologist for many different people. It's a couple of hundred people, immersed in making a film. And actors alone, I'm telling you, there are many different personalities, different schools. We're coming from different backgrounds, and it's like a wonderful orchestra. You can only make it sound beautifully if you have a great conductor. So that's precisely what happens. They have such a wonderful ear, and of course a very educated eye, that they know exactly when something's off, and they figure it out perfectly to make it right. And George, being an actor himself, he knows exactly what we actors hate and love. So he makes sure that the environment is properly set for you to be happy, to have a happy experience.
I think it's fair to say that the filmmaking that's come out of Mexico in the last few decades has been among the world's best. You have incredible performers such as yourself. And yet there's still a sense that this is somehow new. This is a discovery, as if this isn't firmly established, as if winning 4 to 5 Oscars doesn't really show what the hell's going on in this world. I know you work with the ACLU, and you have some very specific political things that you deal with. But I'm just wondering if you can reflect upon, again, given the year we've had, some of these connections and how some, maybe even within the community, don't really take enough time to celebrate what the hell has gone on out of your native country in terms of this explosion of incredible talent, incredible filmmaking.
I fully agree with you. Mexico is such a great country in different ways, but the main core of it is how well connected we are with the arts and culture throughout our, history, all the way from the Aztecs and the Mayas and all that. If you ever had a chance to go to Chichen Itza, for example, or Chichen Itza as we call it, my goodness, then you understand right away, what we come from. And but yes, the enormous talent that's been out there, it's just really wonderful.
One final thing, I know you're Bichir, who grew up in Mexico. You have this this cultural heritage from Lebanon and Mexico combined, which brought us tacos al pastor, but also brought us you, and once again collides with what we think of as Mexican. I'm wondering if that and how that has affected the roles that you take and the performances that you give.
Absolutely. I usually keep that in mind all the time. You know what I mean? The fact that I'm working with the ACLU that's for a reason, because I'm also an immigrant, and I went through whatever millions of immigrants have gone through. And so we're fighting very, very hard for an immigration reform in the US. But we're also fighting for many things that need to be fixed in Mexico. And every time I have the chance to run away from stereotypes as an actor, or run away from cliches as an actor, I always take it. So you can only imagine when you have an invitation to work with George Clooney, and the character is a Mexican astrodynamicist, how many of those roles are in Hollywood, right? So that alone it's a blessing.
Thank you so much. Be well, be healthy, and we will see you in person someday, my friend.
Thanks a lot, my friend. You too.
Give my best to everybody.